Okay, morning everyone. I'll open the council meeting for the 26th of August. I've got no apologies at the moment. I've got no public forum. I've had no requests for leave of absence. No conflicts of interest declarations from anyone. No hands going up, no. I've had no notifications of extraordinary business. So confirmation of minutes on the 22nd of July, and the 5th of August. I'll put them both together. I'll move them. Seconded by Councillor Ford. Any issues for anyone before I put those? Okay, all those in favour, raise your hand. That's carried. Thank you. All those against? No, so carried. Report of the Mayor, I'll make it really short. Obviously, we've been catching up via Zoom and Facebook and messaging regularly, which is great from the councillor's point of view. Porirua seems to have done really well at the moment with no cases out here, only the one place of interest. Oratoa are obviously opening their drive-through vaccination centre, starting off with Maori and Pacifica and then going to everyone, which is coming shortly. So that's another thing that's really good. And our staff are doing really well at home with our emergency management office. So all in all, I think we're just chugging along and everyone seems quite content, even though we'd love to get back to work. So is Taku on yet? No. Okay, we'll skip him. I've had no petitions, so I'll skip to committee recommendations. Straight over to you, Councillor Leggett.
Thank you, Mayor Baker. I'd like to move the committee recommendations of Te Puna Kōrero of the 29th of July. I'll move them all together. The 5th of August and the 19th of August. You can see there what we would be approving. I just want to add one thing before I get a seconder, and that's to the 19th of August recommendations regarding the representation review, the initial proposal. We've had feedback, I've been advised by Jack from the electoral officer, that we should make a minor change to the proposed ward names to help electors around clarity. And that would mean that the ward names would become Pauatahanui General Ward, Onipoto General Ward, and Parirua Māori Ward. And that, so that in effect, that adds general to the general wards, and the Parirua Māori Ward, which was previously named Parirua Ward with brackets, in brackets Māori Ward. So that's just a style change there. So we have the ability to, as I understand it, to debate this at the final hurdle anyway, but just in order to make it really clear for electors when this proposal goes out, that's what the electoral officer is suggesting, and I think it's pretty clear. I'm not going to ask for any comments now because I think that it's pretty self-explanatory. So I'd like to move all those committee recommendations with the addition of what I've just talked about in the representation review initial proposal with those three additions. I'd like to move those, Mayor Baker. Do we need a seconder? You'll ask.
Seconded by Councillor Morell. Okay, all those in favour, raise your hand. Yep, Whāwhoi, are you in? Yes, thank you, sorry. That's carried, and all those against, none, so carried. So we move to our first report, 11.1, the acquisition of 9 Polestar Lane. So I'll hand it straight over to Matt, one of our officers, to speak to this first, please.
Oh, tēnā koutou. Through you, Your Worship. So Parks was approached by the owners of 9 Polestar Lane when they were kind of coming up with the concept for their subdivision to acquire a portion of their land. They've proposed to gift us this piece of land. I think that's identified in attachment 1, the scheme plan for the subdivision. We've carried out site visits and checked the site. Staff sort of considered that acquiring the parcel might be a good idea. It was attractive to us in that it joins up 2 reserves. It enables council to lock up an entire regenerating native bush, gully and wetland into the reserve estate. And that's done essentially at no upfront cost and for minimal ongoing cost. So yeah, the recommendation we have is to acquire the parcel. Under the Local Government Act, we're required to seek permission from council when it comes to acquisition or disposal of assets. So here we are.
Okay.
Happy to take any questions if.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? No hands going up. Yes, Councillor Hayward.
Kia ora koro matua. Thank you for the report. My only question is, did officers consider any potential use of the space to incorporate a walkway through this portion as well as the adjacent parcels of land that connect up to Polestar and Madeira, I believe it is?
Through you, Your Worship, that I think that's considered in the outcomes for the adjoining reserves, but it's a very long way off. I would think.
That would
It's
also
not-
be a very steep reserve because it's
That's
not.
right.
You'd
It's-
struggle to get your grade in there.
Yeah, through you, Your Worship. Yeah, it's a very steep gully system, so it would be a long-term project, and it's not flagged anywhere as yet.
Okay. Any other questions from anyone? I note it was seconded by Councillor Duncan. So all those in favour, raise your hand. All against? So that's carried. Thank you. Now, Taku, I see you're in. Would you like to make any comments? Because I skipped through. No? Okay. That brings us to the end of the online. So I'm going to move that we go into non-public, seconded by Councillor Nalo.